In 1994, Electronic Arts rebooted the iconic Road Rash franchise, starting with the ill-fated 3DO system. The game was well received at the time, and fans of Road Rash still swear the first 32-bit version marks the high point in the series. While not my entry point into the world of Road Rash, this was the very first game I had ever played for the 3DO, and boy does it leave quite the first impression. The game improves upon the Genesis titles in nearly every way. The graphical fidelity is miles ahead, as one would expect from a next-gen system. The frame rate is much smoother and delivers a much better sense of speed. The backgrounds look photorealistic rather than like bad pixel art, but most impressive is the roadside detail. Rather than chunky sprites clumsily scaling into view, Road Rash on the 3DO actually feels like you're racing through the state of California. City actually feels like a dense population center with a ton of beautifully rendered buildings zooming by. The Napa Valley looks like a country landscape with rolling hills and rich farmland where you would actually find vineyards. The Sierra Nevada has plenty of guardrails to keep you from falling off a cliff and a ton of vegetation in the backgrounds. The peninsula has a small resemblance to the suburbs of San Francisco. And finally, the Pacific Highway takes us past the vast Pacific Ocean. Also improved is the sound. While the motorcycle engine notes sound a bit more electronic than mechanical, there is a nice range through the rev range. More impressive are the amount of sound channels playing at once. If there are 4 or 5 opponents around you, you'll hear 4 or 5 different engines, and they get louder and softer the closer and farther away they are. Finally, the game features some great stereo separation, which adds to the immersion. Unfortunately, no music plays during the actual racing, so if you don't care for the electronic hum of a fictional motorcycle, you're out of luck. This is a shame too, as the game has a fully licensed soundtrack headlined by Soundgarden. Hearing these during the game's many humorous cutscenes and artistic menus is a real treat, and the fact they don't play during the racing seems like a real missed opportunity. Still, for 1994, Road Rash is a real milestone and did a great job laying the groundwork for the industry shift into 3D. Continuing with the groundwork is the gameplay. Road Rash for the 3DO improves upon the original games in many little ways, but doesn't drastically change anything. The controls are more responsive, and navigating through tight waves of traffic is much easier thanks to the added precision. The combat element is as satisfying as ever. Your attack motions move quicker, so it's easier to pummel opponents off their bikes, but the core mechanics remain the same. Electronic Arts didn't try to reinvent the wheel, but instead stuck with what worked, rather than making things needlessly complex. The overhauled visuals and improved controls make for a terrific experience. While a racer at heart, in many ways, Road Rash is a test of endurance. If you can manage to avoid pummeling into things, keeping your wheels on the road, avoid getting busted by the cops, and race well enough to place in the top 3, you effectively beat the course and can move on to one of the other 4. Qualify on all 5 courses and you move on to the next level. Here, you'll want to use your prize money to purchase a quicker bike. If you find you don't have enough money, it is possible to still place in the top 3 with an underpowered bike, but you'll need a little bit of luck and a perfect run to pull it off. Purchasing a new bike allows you to keep up with the increased difficulty, but as you're now moving quicker, the game does become more challenging. The 5 different courses also get longer with each passing level, again upping the ante. There are 5 levels total, but of all the Road Rash games I've ever played over the years, I've only managed to reach the 5th level on the Sega CD version once. Road Rash is a brutal game series, and I'm not sure I'll ever actually beat any of them, but I'm okay with it. This remains one of my favorite racing game franchises of all time. Perhaps it's the elusiveness of completion keeping me coming back for more, knowing there's more to the game I have yet to see. Blazing through the twisting highways is a ton of fun. Your opponents put up a decent challenge, occasionally forcing you to use your weapons before they'll stop harassing you. It is a great mix of racing, driving, and combat, and I'm not sure there has been a series of games that does it all as good as this. Insane difficulty aside, it really is hard not to love this game. The driving and combat mechanics are solid, the graphics are some of the best on the 3DO system, and the cheesy FMV videos are extremely enjoyable and way ahead of the cringeworthy stuff plaguing many early CD titles. Unfortunately, this 3DO version seems to be creeping up in price, and you are probably better off just buying the PlayStation port. Whichever route you take, you're bound to have a blast. 4 out of 5.